Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this webinar looking at leadership and management as an introduction here at First Intuition in Maidstone. My name is Shane. I am the Apprenticeship Centre Manager and have been involved in the rollout of these programmes. The webinar will be recorded. It is August and there's quite a few people on annual leave that have asked to have the webinar sent out afterwards, so I will be recording it. Feel free to ask any questions as we go through, to put any questions in the chat box as well, and I will try and answer them as we go. But today is really just about giving everybody here a bit of an overview, and it doesn't matter whether you are an employee or an employer, whether you're looking to do the course yourself, or if you've got people in mind that you would want to do it in your team. Hopefully you will all be able to get some information from today. It's at this point I do hope you can all hear me and can at least see my screen, but if you can't, I suppose now's a good time to say. Okay, so in this webinar then, we'll do a little bit of an introduction as to who First Intuition are, just for those of you that may not know. We will then look at the benefits of a CIMI qualification and why people pick the CIMI when doing leadership and management. We'll then look at the benefits of holding a management qualification. So why, regardless whether it's a CIMI or not, why having a management qualification is good for careers. We'll go into detail about what we offer at First Intuition and the programs that we will be running, and the structure of those courses. And then we'll finish up on study route options and the different methods that you've got to undertake the courses. Should leave some time for questions at the end, and I don't anticipate this taking the full hour, so anybody that's in a lunch break or should still have plenty of time at the end. So starting off with a little bit about First Intuition in Maidstone, we were founded in 2011. And we've got 9 years of experience of delivering professional qualifications with excellent pass rates. It's probably worth pointing out that before First Intuition, most of the people here now have come across from other training providers. So our experience in delivering courses does go beyond the 9 years. Our study support extends beyond the classroom. So regardless of any qualification, whatever program you're doing, you will get tutor contact details throughout your time with us, and they are there very much to support you through your journey. Now, Maidstone's part of the First Intuition franchise group, so some of you may be aware that there are multiple centres all over the country, all operating under a franchise umbrella, but that does give us access to a wide variety of resources, obviously knowledge, and the ability to offer these programs on a more national scale. As a group, we have over 7,000 learners, of which nearly 2,000 of those are apprentices. And all of the delivery staff are specialists, and they are accredited with the various institutes that they are delivering for. And they all have experience in the sector for the qualifications that they are delivering. Now, that's a very brief overview. Today isn't about trying to sell the company to anybody, and obviously we're all here to find out more about leadership and management, but that should hopefully give you an idea of the structure of First Intuition and the type of delivery programs that we have on offer. So looking at the benefits of a CIMI qualification then, many people choose the CIMI because of the industry recognised qualification that they provide. So the CIMI is a Chartered Management Institute, and their qualifications are providing a pathway to Chartered Management status, which is the top level. Now, within that membership, you also gain access to thousands of leadership and management resources, tools, and CPD content. So the CIMI are renowned for having what was known as Management Direct, that some people may have heard of, and that's an online resource bank, basically, where you can access various content, networking events, whether it's CPD or whether it's just that you've got a particular scenario within your team that you would like some help with handling or finding out a little bit more about. The CMI also do provide a mentoring service as well. So for those aspiring managers or new managers, they do provide an opportunity to work with mentors as well as networking, just to really build on experience within the field. And the biggest benefit with the CMI is it doesn't matter what industry you're working in. So whether that is accounting, right through to construction, it really isn't an issue. The qualifications cater for everybody and their resources cater for everybody. So you don't need to be working in a particular field to undertake one of their qualifications. Now, the CMI offer a variety of levels, and I have highlighted on this slide which levels it is that we provide. So starting at a level 2 and level 3, it is really aimed at first line managers and supervisors. So those are designed for those that are aspiring, or those that may be new to the role, or looking to progress their career as well. And then the general progression route is onto a level 4 or 5, which is aimed at operational or departmental managers. So those that are potentially managing a larger department or an area, for example, would very much benefit from moving on to levels 4 or 5. And that tends to be aimed at people that have been in a management role for a longer period of time, that are looking to potentially progress or build on the skill set that they currently hold. You will then see it progresses on further to levels that, although first intuition don't offer, the CMI do directly. So you've got the level 6 and level 7, which are very much designed for directors and senior managers, and those that have got the responsibility to take organisational strategy and turn that into effective performance. Right the way through to level 8, which is suited to that corporate level of senior manager. So CMI are the only organisation that offers a level 8 that is suitable for these managers. But hopefully this graphic on the screen gives an idea of the progression routes that the CMI offer. And that's one of the real benefits of their structure, is that it doesn't really matter at what level you come in. There is, unless you come in at level 8, general progression all the way through, and they've got a clear pathway to enable that. Levels 2 and 3, so we offer the level 3 here at First Intuition, and that's very much, as I said, aimed at aspiring or those new to the role, and it covers a broad range of subjects, whether that's leading a team, project, resource management. And when you get onto level 5, it's very much developing on those core skills that you would gain from level 3. So you would start to move on to managing resources on a larger scale, recruitment on a larger scale, and information management as well. As I say, there is a lot of detail to go into with all of these qualifications, and there is a syllabus for each one. We will today look at the modules that are covered within the courses that we offer in a little bit of detail, but we don't want to go on for hours going into every single detail with these qualifications. So happy to follow up with any further detail that people may require. So the next slide looks at why companies invest in management qualifications, so what the attraction is for employers. And for those of you here that may be an employer, you might be able to see this in yourself. So improving staff retention. It is sadly a well-known fact that a lot of people leave a job not because of the job, but because of a manager. And some surveys have indicated that is as much as 75% of people. And what these qualifications and what companies hope to do by investing in these is to improve that staff retention. And in turn, upskill those people that become accidental managers. So by this, I mean people, as you may know, that are in a management position because they've almost fallen into it, but have no previous training or management experience to draw upon in their new position. So they're now directly managing somebody that they've maybe never had the training or previous experience of doing. And that's potentially only 1 in 5 people that actually come with any formal training. So accidental managers do tend to be a wider amount of the management pool, if you like, than people perhaps give credit for. Companies are also looking to have managers that adapt better to change. So 97% of businesses usually undergo some form of change on an annual basis, whether that's product development, people management, improving operations. And the key to that is making sure that there are managers in place that can adapt effectively and bring their teams along with those changes. And these qualifications very much offer the tools, the resources, the theory behind change management to help managers and employees cope better with those natural changes that every business goes through. Companies use it to help with succession planning, so ensuring that there is always a succession plan in place for the smooth operation of the business. And if you are a manager, you'll know that's important even on weeks of annual leave. You know, we've all had it where you've got somebody that can fill the gap when you're taking some time off and ensure that the department or the team continues to run smoothly. And that's obviously far more scalable all the way up to senior level and ensuring that the business as a whole continues should a manager leave or should life events get in the way. Ultimately, companies are looking for increased departmental effectiveness. So whether that is reducing recruitment costs or allowing more delegation and accountability to their managers. These qualifications enable companies to have the confidence in their managers to take on further responsibility and to be accountable for their actions. And that really impacts on the manager as well. So many managers want to be given that level of responsibility. They want to be given the level of autonomy to undertake their role. And if employers have got that confidence, that should help with job satisfaction for the manager too. If we now look at it from a manager's or employee's point of view and why holding a management qualification may be a benefit, many people believe that the chartered management status gives them a competitive advantage. So as I mentioned earlier, it is industry recognised, it is a well-known qualification, and studies have found that it quite often gives them a competitive advantage, not only in the job market, but when undertaking projects internally, potentially pitching for potential projects within their company. And that very much links back to the confidence that employers and companies then have in their managers when they see this status. Of managers that hold these qualifications, 81% then felt they were able to pass on their skills more effectively to members of their team. And that's really what a lot of managing is about, being able to enable your team to undertake their role with confidence and alleviate some of the pressure on yourselves. So that's an overwhelming majority of people that feel that this qualification gave them the tools they needed to pass on their knowledge better and not retain it all themselves. A similar amount, so 79%, noticed an improvement in their team's performance, which again is key. Having a team that's performing at its peak will obviously ensure that the team or the department is operating effectively. And it widens the knowledge of the individual or the manager. So many managers are expected to cover a wide range of areas, whether that is delving slightly into HR or managing budgets, resources. And what these qualifications do, as we will look at when we go into some of the content, is widens that knowledge so that You have specialist knowledge in multiple areas and not limited knowledge. And just some interesting facts, finally, from people that have undertaken the CIMI qualification. So 93% of people that obtained the qualification believed it increased their self-awareness. So they became more aware of what they were doing and the actions they were taking and the impact this had on others and their team. 90% believe it increased their self-confidence. So they then felt more able and more confident in their abilities to undertake the role. 84% believe they are a better manager in the long term because of the tools, because of the resources that they're now able to draw upon and their knowledge to deal with scenarios and to lead their team. And 96% of people use the charter status as proof of their experience. So as I mentioned earlier, whether that is looking to find a different position or to progress internally, having that status, rightly or wrongly, they felt gave them an edge over others. So what we've covered so far, and again, not in a huge detail and quite quickly, is just some of the benefits of holding a CIMI qualification, some of the benefits to managers and to employers, and just hopefully giving you guys an idea of why these qualifications are of benefit. What we will now go on to is what we offer at First Intuition, the programs that are available here. And we will then start to look at some of the study routes and what a typical module may look like. So at First Intuition Maidstone, we offer two programs with the CIMI. We offer the Level 3 Diploma in Principles of Leadership and Management, again, fully accredited by the CIMI. It's on average 13 months long, and it contains 8 CIMI modules that we will look at in a bit more detail in a minute. And there's a variety of assessment styles within there. So some of it is reports, some of it is analysis of theories, presentations. So what we very much try to do with these programs is ensure that we can cater for everybody's different learning style. So those that prefer to write reports and assignments, you have that option there. But equally for those that prefer to produce presentations or analyse theories, there are other assessment methods that we've got accredited with the CIMI as well. Now each module comes with an assessment for it, which is what I've touched upon there. And this is all fully supported by a tutor that we will look at, and we'll look at the delivery style in a little bit more detail in a minute. The second qualification that we offer is the Level 5 Diploma in Leadership and Management. So perhaps one of the things the CIMI haven't been overly inventive on is their names. The only difference between the name of Level 3 and Level 5 is they've got rid of the principles. But it is really designed to build upon what would have been learned at Level 3 to apply at a slightly more advanced level, probably on a bigger scale and a wider scale, because of the new level of seniority that comes with Level 5. And equally the type of roles that people in Level 5 will be doing, as I say, operations and departmental managers traditionally. So the Level 5 is a longer qualification at 20 months. It has the same amount of modules at 8, but the reason for the differing in length is very much the complexity of those modules. So each module will require longer to learn and then to complete the assessment for, as opposed to the Level 3, and that's why it has a longer duration. Again, the assessment methods at Level 5 do vary, so from assignment writing to presentations, formal reports, and briefing papers. Now, I've mentioned a lot today about that chartered management status, which the CIMI offer, and that isn't technically a qualification in its own right. It is almost a style of membership with the CIMI. So upon completion of the Level 5, for example, you can use your Level 5 experience, plus your experience as a manager, and then undertake a short assignment to gain that chartered management status. Likewise, at level 3, you can draw on previous work experience and undertake further assignments to get up to that chartered management status. So chartered management isn't a qualification within its own right, it's a status within the CMI that builds upon these pathways. So a little bit about the content of the courses. At level 3, as I said, there are 8 courses, and it starts with the principle of management and leadership. And this very much looks at some of the theory within management and leadership styles. But you'll then see it progresses on to slightly more practical units. So that's managing yourself, managing daily activities, both with yourself and within your team to achieve particular roles. Building relationships with stakeholders for effective communication and the different styles that you can use depending on the type of relationship you want to build and the objectives that you're trying to achieve. One of the modules is very much around contributing to the delivery of a project. So quite a practical module, quite an interactive one. And it, again, doesn't matter what industry you currently work within. It is very much a project that is relevant to what you do. Finishing up with managing data and information, and then managing budgets and resources. So these modules have been picked because of their links together and their ability to appeal to a wider selection of industries. And although budgets and resources is very much aimed at accounting, many people, many managers across a wide variety of different sectors will need to manage a budget or some form of resource in one way, shape or form. And that's very much what that unit will touch upon. Looking at level 5, you will see that it starts again with principles of operational leadership and management. So again, it starts to look at the theory, but this time at a larger, to a higher level, a more operational level, and on a bigger scale than would have been looked at level 3. Again, it looks at stakeholder relationships, but again, as a more advanced level than it did at level 3. It then looks at using reflection to inform your own personal development and development of others within your team. It looks at how you would lead, manage and develop individuals and teams. So it could be that somebody undertaking a level 5 is actually managing managers of other teams, and that module will look at how you not only manage individuals within your teams but manage bigger teams that all feed into your role. Looks at managing change, managing finance, so again budgets, resources on a higher level than would have been looked at level 3. Again, managing projects, so you'll notice at level 3 it's very much contributing to the delivery of a project. At level 5 it's about managing various projects that may all feed into you. And then finishing up with creating and delivering on operational plans. So starting to look at slightly more strategic plans than it would have done at level 3, building those yourself and then being able to deliver on them as part of your role. Now I can provide an overview for anybody that wants it that gives detail within each of these modules, and I'm happy to do so. As I say, today I don't want to go into that level of detail. This is very much an introduction, but I will send out afterwards an overview of each module. So this next slide looks at the course structure per unit. So this was what would occur with each of the CMI units. So there will be a face-to-face workshop for every module, and that will be delivered by an accredited CMI tutor, and they will have experience in not only leadership and management, but of teaching the qualification as well. The idea of these workshops will be to teach the main concepts of the unit. So it will go through the main areas that particular unit is going to be assessing you on. It will then help prepare you, whether that is with reading material, with learning journeys, with particular activities or assignments to undertake at work, to help get you ready for completing that assignment, whether it's going to be a presentation or work product or an actual written assignment. The workshops will not only teach you the theory, but they will set you up in order to do that. After each workshop, that's not where the tutor support ends. And as I mentioned earlier, although it is a face-to-face workshop, they will be in constant communication. There will be learner journeys to follow, followed by forums and contact details, so that you're fully supported as you go away and produce your assignment and learn about your unit. And it could be that you've come across within your reading or management direct or one of our activities, something that you just want to find out a little bit more about, something that you want to know whether you could apply into a scenario at work, and that will be where the tutor can help you as well. So you would then produce your assignment, which is very much the second stage, and you'll have access to not only the tutor, but online resources through our own FI Learn system, and also the CMI's Management Direct system, which I mentioned earlier. And within there, we will have learner journey set up. So Management Direct is great, but it does have a huge amount of resources on there, and it can be a little bit like finding a needle in a haystack if you don't know what you're looking for. So we're going to make sure that there's learner journey set up that points you in the direction of the right materials and right resources, and gives you almost a reading list, if you like, of the most appropriate for the particular module that you're studying. There will also be deadlines to work towards and assessment days to ensure that everything is structured out and that you can achieve the qualification within the time period that was set out at the start. Now, that assessment day will involve the one-to-one with your tutor and completing the assignment. So it could be a presentation that you then present to your tutor, or it could be that you have submitted a written assignment and you are receiving feedback. We structured it so that there is a set day for that, and you get one-to-one support when doing so. And that's very much the final point on this slide. You would get tailored feedback and support provided by your tutor for each assignment. So they will give you that one-to-one, and you also have access to that support on an ongoing basis. So it does go beyond the workshop. And the feedback that you get on your assignments will occur as you go through your drafts and you're getting ready to produce your final one. But equally, it should help you as you move on to the next unit to tinker with some of the areas, whether that's your writing style or your preferred assessment method, and hopefully give you the opportunity to apply this in work. So be able to start to use some of the scenarios that you are learning about with real life ones, and then be able to apply the knowledge that you've gained to handle in, whether it's members of your team or some of the projects that you're involved in at work. So that's very much our course structure, and that would occur over the 8 modules of the CMI. Now, on top of the CMI modules, what First Intuition do offer are the Impact Skills Programme. And this is a suite of courses that very much focus on some of the softer skills associated with leadership and management. And it starts to allow attendees the opportunity to not only learn the theory, but apply it within some interactive scenarios and think about how they can use that at work as well. Now, the modules that we have created link in with the CMI modules that we're running. So they're run in a particular order to align with the CMI module, and there will be a crossover between them. They'll be run by the same tutor as well to ensure that consistency, and so that they've got to know not only the attendees, but what they do for a role, and help them tailor the content of the modules to some of the scenarios that their attendees are encountering. And you'll see from the screen some of the similarities that are occurring between these impact skills modules and the CMI modules. So managing change, communication, managing effectiveness, integrated project management at level 3 being some examples. At level 5, that starts to look at professional development, performance management, leadership, and advanced team working as other examples. And again, these are run as one-day face-to-face workshops. They're very much, as I said, designed to complement the CMI modules and to aid assignment production as well. So what you learn on some of these modules may be useful when producing your assignments. Now, depending on what study route you choose, these may or may not be automatically included within the programme. So you do have that option to almost pick a mix if you like. If you're studying it, or if you're looking to get employees to study it as an apprentice, then these are automatically included as part of that wider development of skills and behaviours. If you're looking to study these CMI qualifications commercially, then you have the option to include either all or some of these modules within your programme as well. So it's quite flexible, and it gives you that that chance to pick on some of the areas that you may be interested in, or you know that you want some of your employees to build. Again, I will be able to provide an overview of each of these modules. Not saying I'm going to go into details out here, but I will send that out after the webinar. And then on this final slide, we just look at some of the study route options that are available with our programmes. So as I've just mentioned, you've got the option of studying it commercially or under an apprenticeship. Commercially, it can be purchased as a full level or as individual units if you're looking to use CPD. And it includes the CMI modules as standard, so it's very much focused on the technical knowledge that will be needed to complete those CMI modules. It includes the resources and the tutor support that I've previously mentioned, and the assessment. And as I've just said, you can add on the Impact Skills programme to that to those study journeys. Now, the commercial route is very useful for people that perhaps don't have the time to study at work, or are looking to pick and choose modules. But the apprenticeship route offers an alternative for the development of not only technical knowledge, but also the wider round skills and behaviours that are associated with being an effective manager. So it builds further than the technical, and it starts to look at how the skills and behaviours in the workplace are applied as well. Now, when studying it under an apprenticeship option, you continue to be supported by your accredited tutor, but you also are allocated a dedicated skills and development coach. And they're there to look at your workplace embedment, or to look at your employees' workplace embedment, help them take what they're learning and use that within the workplace, help tailor that to development tasks that they may or may not be undertaking at work, and then look to support them through their programme in collaboration with their tutor to ensure that by the end they've not only got the technical theory, but this is all being applied competently at work. That's some of the bonuses of an apprenticeship. It does come with funding available, so the government, as you may or may not be aware, do offer apprenticeship funding for both large and small employers. And employers are committed to providing specific study and training time for these programmes. So it gives you that chance to apply it at work, and that time to study for it at work as well. And the impact skills modules that we have just covered are automatically included, very much because they focus on those skills and behaviour modules that I've just mentioned. And so the link there is key, and that's why they are automatically included within the programme. Now, obviously, you'll notice with the apprenticeship route, there is slightly more involvement there. And because it is developing a wider range of skills, you do complete with 2 qualifications. So not only the CMI qualification, but the apprenticeship certificate as well, at the same level as the CMI qualification you're undertaking. So the option that's most appropriate will depend on either you as an employer or as an employee. And happy to have those discussions on an individual basis. It isn't a one-size-fits-all, and we can tailor programmes to best suit employers and employee needs as well. And that very much covers an introduction today of leadership and management and the programmes that we offer. So as I said at the start, it isn't, today wasn't designed to be an in-depth, detailed into each module. More than happy to undertake one-to-one conversations with anybody here, whether that's employees, employers, or anyone that you think may be interested. I will, after this webinar, send out slides and a timetable, and then you'll have my contact details, which are equally on the screen as well, should you wish to follow up. Our programs are launching in mid-October, so there's still plenty of time to have a little think about it and to let us know, but now's a good time to start having those conversations, and even if it's just a case of wanting to find out a little bit more than I've covered today, more than happy to do that over Zoom, over a phone call. There's no obligation. I'm not going to make you sign up or sign your life away on the call, but it's just a chance to find out a little bit more information that I can then tailor to you personally and your individual circumstances. As I say, I wasn't going to take the full hour, so I do open the floor to any questions, and feel free to unmute yourself or to type those out. And if there are no questions, obviously just a thank you very much for everybody that did attend, but feel free now to ask any questions you might have. No worries, thank you both. Okay, so that's a good question in terms of time off work. The modules are 1 day each, and they would be run as classroom courses. So certainly under the apprenticeship route, it would need a day for each module. There is, when studying as an apprenticeship, something called the 20% off the job, which means that for whoever's going to be the apprentice, 20% of their time would need to be spent on new learning that's relevant to the leadership and management apprenticeship. Doesn't necessarily mean that you need to spend a day a week away from a desk, but just making sure that you've got the time to complete those assignments, for example, and to take on a responsibility and scope that's going to give you the opportunity to develop, and that can all be included in the 20% as well. So certainly time away from the office needs to be the modules, and assessment feedback can be done remotely over Zoom. And just making sure that you've then got enough time to be learning and to be developing, and complete the assignments as well. Hopefully that answers your question, but let me know if not. Cool, no problem. Okay, if there's no other questions, I think we'll leave it there. So thank you very much for everybody that attended. As I say, I will send these slides out afterwards, and if anybody wants to follow up afterwards, you've got my contact details. Thank you.